Tonda, congratulations. You are taking Southampton to a playoff final at Wembley in just over a week. Can you take me to the moment that that final whistle was blown? What went through your mind?
It's tough to put that in words, to be fair. There's so much dedication and work that goes in the way we prepare daily, and we've been doing this for months now, and yeah, it's tough to describe what goes on in the head after the game.
It certainly seemed emotional from you, and almost like, I guess, a release of relief from maybe the last few days. So how testing has it been for you?
Yeah, of course. We always said that we embrace the pressure that comes. I think you prepare yourself all season for those moments of pressure, and yeah, it's still there. So you need to be able to cope with it, and I think the players have done that exceptionally, and yeah, all credit to them.
How have you managed to keep the noise out and keep your players focused on it? Because at moments it felt like maybe your team felt like they had something even more to prove because of all the talk around what led up to that first leg.
Yeah, we've played so many different games at St. Mary's, and the way they unfold. Obviously, we didn't want to have the start that we had today, and then that speaks for the character of the players, that we just always have the belief that we find a way to come out as a winner in the very end, and that sometimes is very smooth right from the start, and sometimes you just have to dig very deep, and you need to be ready for all scenarios that come up, and I think the boys have done that excellent, and obviously the support that carries you over 120 minutes. Yeah,
the crowd were incredible. They seemed to be right behind you. Every decision that maybe went your way or didn't go your way. A word on the fans and their role tonight.
Yeah, massive for us, but it started in the way we came into the stadium. The welcome was just gives you a special feeling, and I said this to the staff as soon as we walked into the stadium. It's just nice to be back home, because it just feels different. And then in those tight games, that's what makes a difference.
There was a moment that seemed to really impact the momentum between Ayling and Harwood Bellis. Could you maybe shed some light on what happened there? Because obviously the referee came to speak to you and Kim.
Yeah, well, there must have been a conversation on the pitch, but I still haven't really found out what this is about. So
okay,
once I find a moment, I'll go check with Tay.
Okay, and then in terms of leading the team to Wembley, on a personal note, what does that mean to you? You're going to one of the most emblematic places in world football.
Yeah, second time. Very special stadium. Yeah, I think the support will be amazing again, and that is the last step now. We've not started the season well, and then we've just put such a big effort into putting ourselves in that position, and now we need to take one more step.
Tough is that to take, to lose just a few minutes from time?
As tough as it gets. I think it's, to be fair, the worst moment in my 15-year coaching career, so it's tough.
There were so many moments in that game that felt like defining moments. You had a really strong start, but then they got back into the game just before the break. Did you feel there was something that maybe changed for the momentum for them to pick it up?
It's a good question. I think overall, if you look at the first leg, I think we are unbelievable over 83 minutes. I think we go in here and have a brilliant first half away from home, creates a lot of opportunities, play good with the ball. I think, like you said, just before the half time, they go to that momentum that I thought maybe they would have from the beginning, with the crowd being here and pushing the players. But our players was brilliant, and then of course they get that goal, get the crowd going, get that into the half time, and that makes it tough. If you've done 90 plus 45 so good that we've done, and you won, that is tough. Yeah, and then you could see maybe after 15 minutes in the second half, we start to fight and have to defend against a very good side. So they have an unbelievable squad, and yeah.
There was a moment that seemed to mark the game where emotions were running high. Would you be able to give us a bit of insight as to what the referee came over to tell you as to what had happened between your player Ayling and Harwood Bellis?
No, it's not for me to tell. It was things that was heated moment on the pitch, and that's football. That's emotions. Things happen on the pitch, and if that happens on the pitch, they have to stay there. And I think that's just energy, emotions. It was a big game.
So there won't be a report being filed. From what we understood, that maybe there was some discriminatory language used.
Then you have to ask different people about that.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. And then in terms of the game continuing from that moment, as I said, it felt like the emotions were really high. The second half, you didn't seem to be as attacking as you were. They seemed to get a strong hold of the game. Why do you think you struggled to get those shots on target?
No, I think, like you said, after 65 something is my picture of it, that we didn't get the press in the same way. Ended up a little bit lower. Wasn't maybe as good with the ball. I think that's also normal. We play as against a very good side with a lot of good players at their home turf. I think, like I said to you before, that if we do 150 minutes that good that we did, you should be ahead by a few goals. We weren't, and then of course they will have moment. And to be fair, it was difficult for us to get out of those moments. We had some transition opportunities that we didn't like. It ended up that they get energy and could run back at us. We had actually 3 or 4 that we need to do a little bit better in those moments, but we didn't. But I'm very proud of the players. Defended and fought for the shirt and for everything. I think over those 2 legs they deserved more, but football is a result, and today they won.
Last one from me. Going into this game, you were adamant that you had a plan for your players to continue training up until the playoff final day, irrespective of the result today. Is that still the case? Will the players be in training from tomorrow as well?
We just had a plan if we were winning the game. That was the plan. What we're going to do up to the final if we get there. Now I have no idea what we're doing. We travel home tomorrow. We will try to get up on our feet again and pick ourselves up, and then fly home tomorrow, and we see.
How difficult is it to be in that position where you are still waiting for an outcome from this independent disciplinary commission?
I don't know. I just thought about the game and prepared the game. Now for the moment it feels more tough to be in a situation where we lost the game. So that's the tough part for the moment, and then we see what happens.
Can you just take us back to that moment? Clear the air. Was it a shot? Was it a cross?
I mean, it was both really. Our fathers put it in an area. Obviously that confuses the keeper, and it's gone all the way through. So I'll claim it as a shot.
You claim it as a
I'll
shot?
Claim it, yeah.
Do you dream of moments like this to be able to help your team reach one of the biggest games in football?
Yeah, definitely. It's always something in the back of your mind, like you want to be the one to score, but first things first, you just got to stick with the game plan and just hope your chance comes. And very late on it came today, and unfortunately it went in.
What was the game plan, if you don't mind sharing that with us?
I feel like we changed it up a little bit, tried to get after them a bit more. Try and minimise their threats in midfield, and I feel like we did that really well. Sussed them out, so it's worked in the end. We had to be really patient during the game, but I feel like we were on top for the majority of the game, and that's shown at the end.
They did have a strong start, though. You managed to get that equaliser just before half-time. How key was that to try and swing the momentum to your side? Yeah,
it was massive. We all know how hard it is conceding just for half-time. They probably thought they were getting in at 1-0 up, but that momentum swing, especially at home, is huge. So coming out in the second half and starting strong was massive as well.
Talk to me about the role of the fans, because they were up off their seats every time a decision didn't go your way. They made the referee fully aware when they weren't happy with things. Yeah,
the fans have been incredible this season. We seen them here at West Brom a couple of years ago. Absolutely massive for us that day, and they were the same today. They deserve that kind of result. They were incredible.
And finally, on a personal note, how excited are you to be going to Wembley?
I can't wait. Yeah, one game away from the Prem, so it'll be a tough game, but it's massive, and I can't wait.